Hi everyone, I'm Jagravi Singh and this is Race to 2030. Today's episode is about Goal 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. The pandemic has threatened global peace and security by having at times incompetent leaders to deal with the pandemic. There are more activists getting detained because of what they believe in and what difference they would like to make. To discuss this topic further, I'm joined by Minh Anh. I first got to know her back in March when I worked alongside her for our committee group, which was about gender equality for the Jing conference. She was hardworking, outspoken, and a very approachable person to talk to. I enjoyed working with her, and I'm beyond delighted to have her today in my podcast series. All right, here's the first question. How can we maintain strong institutions and global standards of justice as the world gets more polarized?
Mm. So I believe, as of right now, the result of our policy making is empowering some individuals, but marginalizing others. And in order to make a step towards improvement, we must first have the courage to hold larger institutions accountable, and strictly enforcing equal access to the same standards of justice for everyone across the globe, and penalizing those who don't, to set an example.
One of the targets of this goal is to end violence everywhere. In what ways can violence be curbed or reduced?
On a smaller scale, perhaps we can start by reducing domestic and school violence, as these violent tendencies can result in delinquency behaviors. Likewise, greater access to high quality, compulsory education will help reduce the child's engagement in criminal behavior. Another method is to improve living conditions in prison. Instead of focusing more on using it as a punishment, I believe it is more profitable to use prison as a means to cultivate responsibility, humanity, and better mental health to reduce crimes after release.
How can government institutions become more effective or transparent during this age of misinformation and corruption?
Mm, Well, transparency can be started by having proactive and accessible communications with all members in the country, including those with lower income who may not have access to technology. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the French government had issued an accessible day bulletin containing the key statistics, such as death rates, how much of the population is tested positive, and so on.
Why do you think corruption occurs in our society, and in what ways can it be curbed?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors that may play into this, such as personal greed, a cultural environment that normalizes corruption, lack of transparency, and so on. So there's also various ways to solve these problems depending on the country. We can have stricter law enforcement to prevent exemption of punishment, strengthening the power of citizens so that they have, which allows them to hold the government accountable, and as mentioned before, increase access to information, which helps to increase the level of public participation.
How can we encourage more young people, such as us, to get active in governance and make a difference for the betterment of our society?
From my personal experience, there's a lack of opportunities for young people to be exposed to the political atmosphere. To improve this, we can allow more interactions between youth and local politicians. For example, allow them to sit in a local meeting to see how these legislative operations can affect their lives. This can be done through internship programs and other means.
Yeah, I agree with your points. So that's all the questions I have. Thank you for taking your time to answer them. Also, I enjoyed listening to your opinions.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for my 16th episode. I'll be back in episode 17, which is Partnerships for the Goals. It was great speaking to Minh Anh today, and I can't wait to see what leadership role she'll take on next. You all can be leaders, and remember, to be a great leader, you have to have faith and belief in your people. Start by becoming the leader of yourself first, and then gradually start lifting up others to believe in themselves and that improvements can be made no matter how difficult the situation is. For all those leaders out there, please share how it was like being a leader, or what advice can you give to us younger people? I'd love to hear from you all. Thank you and see you all soon.